Welcome back. The Consumer Affairs Department is taking the message of tackling plastic pollution into schools. On Friday, the department paid a visit to the Ave Maria Girls' School to share critical information that it hopes will influence the consumer habits of students and their families.
This year, St. Lucia joined the rest of the world in celebrating World Consumer Rights Day under the theme Tackling Plastic Pollution. The problem of plastic pollution is a major one, and it's estimated that by 2050, the ocean will have more plastic than fish. The visit by the Consumer Affairs Department was to educate the students on this very problem. Sophia Henry is the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Commerce.
Consumers are very powerful. They determine what is produced and the quantities produced by their buying practices or their habits. So we are here to educate the young ones that they can be our young ambassadors, that they can go out there to help spread the word. And the message today is basically 3 R's: reuse, reduce, and recycle plastics.
The department also brought gifts for the students.
We want to encourage them to use this several times, and that will save them from purchasing those disposable bottles. So that can actually replace dozens of single-use plastics. So we are here to make this presentation and to encourage them to spread the word so that we can tackle plastic pollution. Young people, they are very influential. I think that's where we have to start, in the classroom, so that because they too will be the adults of tomorrow. So if you start educating them today, it becomes a lifestyle, it becomes a pattern, a habit. And they also assist in spreading the word and influencing their parents, their families, and their friends.
World Consumer Rights Day was celebrated on March 15th. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
The Ministry of Agriculture is continuing to explore avenues to develop the local coconut industry. Minister for Agriculture Ezekiel Joseph recently participated in a regional forum that discussed the results of an industry survey. The survey formed part of a Caribbean project designed to help the development of the coconut industry. Phase 1 of the project, which spanned 2015 to 2018, saw about 5,000 farmers source planting material from more than 20 seedling nurseries across the region. Noting the challenges faced by the coconut water vendors, the chairman of the National Stakeholders Platform, Kenny Daniels, said that the thrust now is to create a coconut vendors cooperative.
An organization that takes care of them, right, so they can be pushed. And today they push one direction, and then next time they push another way. Marketing board is supposed to be demolished. Right. What happens to them? All right. So that's one of the things I was looking at, and then because of that I said, hey, we need to form an association or a cooperative that can address your needs. Okay. And so far we are doing good as far as the cooperative is concerned. We have the bylaws, we have the registrar and his team on board. And I must say that I was very surprised, and when I saw the amount of efforts that they put in this whole cooperative development for the coconut vendors.
The European Union and CARIFORUM funded project received a further investment of €6 million to develop the region's coconut industry in Phase 2. Having commenced in 2019, Phase 2 focuses on improving the competitiveness of farmers and strengthening the coconut value chain. Daniel explained that St. Lucia will also intensify efforts to boost the coconut industry from the raw product to agro-processing and exports. Some ventures include establishing MOUs with landowners to grow coconut trees outside of St. Lucia, as well as the establishment of a venue dubbed Tutbagay Coco.
Simply, somebody said to me, Kenny, you don't know there is this food court in Rosalie, opposite Bank of St. Lucia? I said, no, well, I don't really travel up to the north because there's traffic jam and all these kind of things. I sit down. Yeah. And then when I went, I was surprised. I said, okay, let me see what we can do. So I went to the Grocery Council and spoke with the mayor, and he was very accommodating. And then he says, hey, this is an excellent idea. And just like Peterson Francis and Castries, he said to me, you're solving our problems because you're bringing them together. And then once you bring them together, then we don't have the problem of roadside vending again. We still have people who want the traditional coconut water, they want to see it. But eventually they'll understand that, hey, this is done under sanitary conditions.
Okay.
So for example, if we get some space in Otsa, you can deliver your 1,000 coconuts. We'll schedule everything. You deliver your 1,000 coconuts today, somebody else deliver 1,000 tomorrow, and we go along working with the coconuts and doing what we have to do. You know? So eventually, you now sell maybe 1,000 coconuts every day.
The project will run until 2023. The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, SLBS, has become aware of the fraudulent use of the St. Lucia Standard mark on documents being presented with items imported into St. Lucia. The St. Lucia Standard mark on a product is a quality seal indicating that the product complies with regionally and internationally accepted national standards and that the supplier maintains an efficient and appropriate quality management system. The mark is not a trade license and does not replace normal trade regulations. The sale and issue of the mark by any party other than the SLBS is prohibited under the Standards Act and will be prosecuted. Persons culpable of this offense are liable to a fine of $10,000 and an additional penalty of $1,000 for every day of which the offense continues, or imprisonment for 6 months. The Bureau of Standards advises retailers to refrain from accepting fraudulent documents in the normal transaction of business and report such documents to the SLBS. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We'll be right back.